Hello, my name is Chris.
I'm John, and yeah, we're two-thirds of a band called Dork.
Yeah, we're currently missing our bassist right now. He couldn't make it tonight, but we are here and we miss him dearly. Anthony, please come home. Please. And I don't know, we're a band from Nyack, New York. He's from New Paltz. So yeah, I don't know what else to say about our band right now. So the name All right, so I work in New York City, and occasionally I take the train from Tarrytown across the river. And there was a lot of construction going on at the time, so they were like, porta potties, porta johns everywhere. Trust me, this is relevant. And I was walking back to my car one night after getting back from the city, and I saw on one of the doors someone graffitied the term "dork head" with an exclamation point at the end. And at the time, we were trying to brainstorm names, and I was more in the realm of kind of goofy, but could still be taken seriously as like a punk band, kind of, I guess. I don't know. I took a picture of it and I showed it to John one night. We were hanging out, and you originally thought it was gonna be Dorkhead.
Yeah. So as soon as I see the picture, I'm just reading verbatim Dorkhead. I'm like,
Not that
I really don't know how I feel about that. But Chris clarified, and it kind of made sense. We're kind of nerdy and dorky in our own right, but hey, we own it. That's really it.
So I specified just dork with an exclamation point, and it just rolled off our tongue so well, so we stuck with it. And then shortly after, Anthony joined the band, and he was okay with the name.
Yeah.
We like to joke a lot about the show Ed, Ed and Eddie, because for all three of us, that was a big part of our childhoods. So we like to joke that we are each of the Eds in a way. But yeah.
If you're not familiar with Ed, Ed, and Eddie, get on that because it is a glorious, glorious cartoon. It's still one of my favorites.
How we met, I'm currently dating a good friend of John's, and that's just how we met, plain and simple. I was visiting her one night, and we all went to like a party together, and that's where I met John. And I think we were drunkenly discussing music.
Yeah. So it was a Friendsmas party, and I was having fun. I didn't really know too many people there, save for like three of my friends, and I don't know. I was just sitting at one of the tables, and Chris was drinking some IPA. Hey, dude, do you want the real story or not?
I'm a hipster.
We're all hipsters on this blessed day. Anyhow, like somehow we got on the topic of music, and I had a folk punk band at the time, but that was starting to kind of get defunct, unfortunately. And I had met someone else who was interested in starting a band, and my deal was like, hey, you find a drummer, and I'll start a project with you. And as luck would have it, I ended up meeting the drummer. And I don't know, we just started talking about music and what we like and thought about starting a project.
And then we kind of didn't chat for a while for some reason. I assume because life got busy.
I think that's what it was.
And then we ran into a grocery store again when I was visiting my girlfriend, and that's when you reminded me. You said, "If you're still looking to jam, I'm down." And then
I forgot about that.
yeah, and finally we started a group chat. You introduced me to the third person at the time, who unfortunately for personal reasons she had to drop out. And then we kind of stuck to just both of us for the summer last year, and then I was like, I think I know someone from my high school actually who plays bass amazingly and would want to do this. So I reached out to Anthony, and he and I had actually been in a band in high school together at one point, and I told him, hey, I is kind of out of the blue, but I was wondering if you wanted to play with us or me again, and I'm in this project. Would you want to do that? Would you want to get back into this thing with us? Something along those lines. And he said, yeah. And he was so okay with everything. He was like okay with like our sound. He was okay with our name. He just hopped right on, and it was, I don't know. It was just a nice start to the band. Punk, noise, and surf. That's it.
Weird, obnoxious, and fun.
You went for more like you went for more like just general terms. I went straight for the genres.
Yeah,
Nice,
I mean,
nice.
like, they're adjectives. Ooh. Well, I kind of really need to say Kurt Cobain if he were still around. I love Nirvana. They really kind of shaped a lot of the way I play. And Gabe Picoto from Fugazi, of course, and Steve Albini.
Oh, damn, that's a good one. Um, do full bands count, or does it have to be specific musicians? Um, well, okay, two musicians that come to mind. As of recently, Mikey Carnival from the Frights, and his first name is Matt. I don't remember his last name, but his first name is Matt. He's from Piss Jeans. He's the lead singer of Piss Jeans. And for my third one, I'm just gonna reach back into time and say Dream Theater.
You and your prog.
I'm sorry. I play guitar, keyboard. For for a while in middle school, I played clarinet. Um, I've written like just a couple of songs by myself. That's about it.
Uh, I have dabbled with drums before, not that good at it, but it's fun every so often. I can play piano. I need a physical piano, otherwise it doesn't feel right. I've been thinking about maybe a weighted keyboard, like that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, man.
Um, I used to play saxophone in school band, but because I suck, I was like, I can't like express myself if I'm playing stuff people already wrote, so I quit that. I want to get a new saxophone though, like that would be fantastic. Uh, I fiddle around with bass here and there. I actually first started on bass before moving over to guitar, and then I'm inheriting my granddad's trumpet. So once that gets cleaned up and I move to a new place that doesn't have paper thin walls, I'm gonna start learning how to play that. What I remember most from the first rehearsal was Chris and I had two songs written, "Itch" and "Floral Cigarettes." I got there before Anthony did. So Anthony rolls in, and he's still in his work clothes. I'm pretty sure that time he was wearing a sweater vest. Um, so I'm just trying to be as open and kind as I can. Like, hey, like it's good to meet you, et cetera, et cetera. And like I don't know what he's thinking of me. We go through the songs, and he's like, "Oh, okay, that's cool." And
I think what he said was, "It's blunt and in your face. I like that." Like we played the two songs for him, and just to show him what we were like, and I remember him saying, "Cool, it's in your face. I like that," something like that.
yeah, and I think that was for Itch specifically.
Yeah.
And then when we played Floral, he was just like, "Oh, there's a lot more going on than that. I like it." I don't know. Does that cover it, Chris? Like, what
Yeah.
was your perspective?
So for me, I was nervous because I hadn't talked to Anthony in months, years. At that point, we were like friends. We were on Facebook. We interacted every now and then, but not like I don't know, not like a full on conversation. It had been a while since I'd talked to him, so that's why I said this is out of the blue. Do you want to be in this band? So he shows up, and I knew there wasn't going to be any like fights or anything. We're all adults, kind of.
Yeah,
Uh, to be honest, I don't know why I was so nervous because it that first rehearsal went so well. Actually, it might have just been anxiety, fear of the unknown, that kind of thing. But overall, to me, that first rehearsal was it was really good. It was really amazing. how many do we know or how many do we want to play? That's really I don't know. That's really the better question for us because we have only ever played and jammed to one song as a cover, and that was a Nirvana song called
Territorial Pissings.
yes, that one. We have talked many a time about covering a lot of songs from like this one song "Wake Bake Skate" by Fiddler, some song by the Frights that I brought up, "Kids," and what were some that you wanted?
I want to do Reservoir by Pup. I would love to cover a microwave song. Real Thing by Turnstile. I'd like to do some other like lesser known Nirvana songs as well. And then we wanted to cover a Mudhoney song.
Yeah.
Good enough. Yeah. But yeah, we only really just have played Territorial Pissings. That's really it.
I have one more statement. I remember Anthony at one practice expressed interest in covering. It wasn't Iron Maiden. I know it wasn't Iron Maiden. What was it? Do you remember the band? Was it Rob Zombie? Was it a Rob Zombie song?
White Zombie, maybe? I don't know.
I think it was a White Zombie song. He expressed interest in covering a lot of like that kind of music.
Love White Zombie.
And I remember I think at one point we tried. There was one song he showed me, and I think I said I don't think I can do that drum beat. It was like
I don't remember the name of it, but we we enjoy the song "Dig" by Mudvayne very much so. Like we're all about the meme with it, from like the most brutal metal scream. I think it was 2012. I think that's the YouTube video. It's really funny. I love it. And then like recently we saw this this meme that was like kind of a knock on Dig and Burger King. Because like the opening bass line is just kind of like brr brr ding, brr brr ding, and that's literally all. That's really it.
it's borderline elevator music and waiting room music. Some people call it vaporwave.
Oh, vaporwave's good stuff though.
Yeah, but some people I talk to, they're just like, okay, this is elevator. Okay. The second one is they're like a pop rock band called Cruiser. They're not quite pop punk, but they're definitely poppy, like overly poppy. And I'm just like whatever. I like it. It's fine.
All right, so guilty pleasure listening: Gwen Stefani, Spice Girls, and the Andrews Sisters. I really dig me some 40s music. If you wouldn't mind checking out our good friends in Alliteration, that would be much appreciated. We love playing with them, and they are one of the hardest hitters in the Hudson Valley for sure. I really, really dig them. They're great guys. And I think that Sound of a Smirk needs a lot of love, too. I kind of feel like they're a little underrated. No. Oh, right. I mean, thank God for editing, right?
Yeah.
So, like, definitely check out Alliteration. Check out Sound of a Smirk. They're both fantastic.
I'd like to give a shout out to Strange Hours. Where are they from again? Westchester?
Yeah, Westchester.
They're from Westchester, and they played with us, and they played with us like back in January, and they hit pretty hard, and go check them out. The Final Countdown by Europe. Like, it's like Chris Ritchie. Da-da-da-da, da-da-da. Okay, I'm done.
So, I do not do sport ball in any capacity.
Neither do I.
But if I had to have walk-up music, the 1812 Overture by Tchaikovsky right when the cannons start going. The album that set my world on fire and made me want to play music, it's the Ramones self-titled, hands down. That's what I first listened to. It was the first album I ever owned. From the second grade all the way up to now, that's what I've wanted to do. Something more contemporary would be Much Love by Microwave. I love that album to death. I must play it at least like once a week, sometimes more. And Repeater by Fugazi.
Um, so back in high school, I was a real prog head. Um, it got kind of weird, but I listened to a lot of Dream Theater, and I think Dream Theater and prog as a whole made me want to make music, just be creative with music. Like the shit that they do is insane. So there's that, and I guess more recently there's an album called Kunk by Dope Body. That those guys opened me up to more angry music, because like back a few years ago I wasn't really into like heavily angry music, but they opened me up to it. And then my third one would probably be Travels with Myself and Another by Future of the Left. They're just the drummer, that I think that's the one that made me want to drum in a band, because the drummer in that band, he gets so kind of funky with it, and at the same time they're like a punk post-hardcore band, but he kind of just does funky shit.
Hey, it's pretty good.